Alright, so on the domain functions, let's look at this first one here. We read the question, what is S sub 4? Okay. How many of you have studied sequences yet in here? Okay. When it's talking about a sequence, guys, and you see S sub 4, that means the fourth term, okay? When you see that little number. So you look at this, you glance at your answer choice, all whole pretty numbers. That's great. Now go back and read. A sequence is defined for all positive integers by S sub n equals 2 times S, n minus 1 plus n divided by 1. So that's like the formula. That's the rule of the sequence, okay? All right, and you want to know what S sub 4 is. Do you see where this 4 is sitting? Isn't that sitting in the same spot as that n? So all of you are smart. And you say, okay, if that's sitting in the same spot, I'm going to come over here and write S sub 4. And I'm going to plug 4 in for that n. Okay, so I'm going to write that formula out. So I got S sub 4 equals 2 S sub 3 plus 4 divided by 1 is 3. Now look at that and say, well, Mr. Hester, I'm looking for S sub 4, but I have no idea what S sub 3 is.
Oh, it was divided by 1? I thought it was plus 1.
Oh, that's plus 1. I'm sorry. That's plus 1. That's a bad copy. Yeah, plus 1. Now, guys, we weren't looking for this, but in order to have this, we got to know S sub 3. So do we know S sub 3? So guess what we got to do? We got to do that formula to find S sub 3. So here we go. S sub 3 equals 2. 3 minus 1 will be 2 S sub 2 plus 3 plus 1. S sub 3 equals 2 S sub 2 plus 4. Well, we do not know S sub 2. So now we got to find S sub 2. This is a prime example. This problem will take you more than a minute. So on some of these, like 2, 3, and 4 on this page will take you 10 seconds.
Yes.
But this number 1 is going to take you a few minutes. That's why you bank your time on these next 3. Now, we got to find S sub 2. 2 minus 1 is going to be S sub 1 plus 2 plus 1. Well, guys, I know S sub 1 because look what they gave you in the problem. S sub 1 is what? 3. So now, you're going to say 2 times 3, which is what? 6. So 6 plus 3 is 9. So that now that I know 9, I can go back up here and say 2 times 9 is what? 18 plus 4 is 22. Now that I know S sub 3, can I plug it in here? So 2 times 22 is 44 plus 5 is 49. Now, you do not, like I said, have to be obedient and show me all that. I'm just showing you how I'm coming to an answer so you understand. But like sometimes you got to be quick with that, okay? But that one, it took a while. That one right there would probably take you 2 minutes on the test. Okay? All right, number 2. Read the question. The question's right here. The points on the graph of the function y equals 3 plus f of x minus 1 can be obtained from the points on y equals f of x by a shift of glance here. Okay, when I glance here, I see descriptions. And I think back to Algebra 2, Trig, and Pre-Cal. So I'm going to have to, now you know why we do transformation rules so much? Okay, this is it. There's always a question like this. Go back and read. The function y equals f of x is graphed by the standard coordinate plane. Does any of this really help you much? No. You got to look at this formula right here. That's all you need to know. The plus 3 on the outside of the function does what to the graph? Up. It moves it up. So we're going to move up how many? 3. Well, let's see where it says move up 3. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. So what's your answer? See that? Because it said move up 3 units up. Now remember, inside the parent function, that is right or left. It's opposite of what you think. You see a minus, you think left, it's actually going what? Right. And if you see a plus, you're actually going to the left. You got me? Does everybody understand that? refresh your memory on that. That right there will be a 5-second question, okay? Now, number 3, here's the logarithm. They always, and these are points you got to bank. Like this one's a bank, you need to bank that, bank this one. It says when log base 5 of x equals negative 2, what is x? And it's very important how to make sure you understand how to read this. If this raised to this equals this, I got 5 raised to negative 2 equals x. I glanced at my answer choices and saw I have some whole number, negative numbers, and then I have some fractions. I'll look at this. Can I keep that negative 2 there? I'm going to put it what? 1 over 5 squared, which is 1 over what? Which is k. Okay. That will take you probably 3-5 seconds. You could answer that problem. Now this is what this problem says. What is f of negative 3? You remember we talked about plugging numbers in a while ago? There's always one like this, and then one like f of g, or g of f, or f of h, or f of g, or h of f, or whatever. It says, what is f of negative 3? I look here. I got some pretty numbers. I don't have any crazy numbers. Then I go back. A function f of x is defined as f of x equals negative 6x squared. Remember, whatever is in that parentheses, I plug in for what? Very good. Negative 3 squared is what? 9. 9 times negative 6 is? Negative 54. Now, number 5 will take you about a minute, or a little bit more, so that's why you go through the other ones. It says cosine theta equals blank. Okay. Think about cosine. Adjacent over hypotenuse. And in the unit circle world, is it your x or y value? Y value. So you need to know both definitions, okay? Now, let's read. We let glance all fractions. So we need to come up with how we're going to get a fraction. And when she said adjacent over hypotenuse, that should stay there because that will give you a fraction somehow, wouldn't it? Okay? Now let's read this. If 90 less than theta less than 180. Okay. When you see something like that, that tells you what area of the graph. If you're an algebra 2 trig right now, you might. Yes, you did. How many's an algebra 2 trig right now? Y'all just covered 12.3, the one about we had to draw the picture and put it in the coordinate plane and find all 6 of them, like the x and y stuff. That's this problem right here. All right, so what quadrant would this be in? Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got to be between 90 and 180. Yeah, because this is 90 and this is 180 right here. So it's right here. All right, so I'm going to draw a picture. So I'm working in quad 2 right here. I'm going to draw a triangle in quad 2. I'm going to put my theta right here. Now this is what you would do in your test booklet. All right. Sine is opposite, which it would be 20 right here. And the hypotenuse is 29. Now, okay. Remember, sine is your what value? X or Y?
X.
It's Y. Sine is your Y value, that 20 right there, okay? 20 over 29, but it correlates with that 20, don't it? Okay. And in the second quadrant, is your Y positive or negative? Positive, isn't it? Isn't this positive Y axis right here? But this is what I'm going to ask you. Oh, well, we'll get to that. Let's just do this. All right. Now, we want to know the cosine, which will be adjacent over hypotenuse, wouldn't we? How could I find this? Yes, let's do that now.
I started to do that, but then I was like, oh, well, we're going to have the same hypotenuse as 29, and the only one that's way 29 is.
Oh, yeah, you're right there. I didn't even notice that. Because that's the only one that's 29, so your answer is H. Now, let's talk about why it's negative 21. Why it's negative? That's to your x-axis, isn't it? In the quadrant 2, your x is what? Negative. What if they might sometimes put the negative 21 over 29 or positive 21 over 29, but it's negative because it's in quad 2 because of the x value. All right. Number 6 is a 10-second question. What is the slope of this line? All you got to do is get what by itself? Move this over. Divide by 8. I can stop right there and look and see my slope is going to be what? Negative 3/8. Number 7. It says, which of the following expressions explains what the calculator would display with any number n is entered? I look at that and I say, okay, I'm trying to come up with a formula, expression. So getting that in my mind, I'm coming up with an expression. It says, Marco programs his calculator to evaluate a linear function. But he doesn't say what the function is. When 5 is entered, the calculator displays the value 2. When 15 is entered, the calculator displays the value 6. Which of the following expressions explains what the calculator would display when any number n is entered? Okay. All these previous problems, we've used math skills that we learned in high school. What kind of plan of attack would you do here? Plug numbers in. I would just start plugging numbers in. Alright. So they tell you that when 5 is entered, the calculator displays the value 2. So if I plug 2/5 times 5 in there, that gives me 2, don't it? Now I'm going to plug 15 in. 2/5 times 15 does give me 6, don't it? So that's why your answer is F. Because I plug those two numbers in to see if it gives me the same thing. I like those problems right there. So I started with this and just plugged this number in, and it gave me 2. This number, and it gave me 6. And so your answer is 2/5. Alright, number 8. What is the value of f of g of 4? That's what I'm talking about. You can either see f of g, or you can see it written like that. So be prepared either way. Work from the inside out. 4 is closest to which one? G. So I'm going to go to the g function here. 4 squared over 2. 4 squared is 16 over 2, which is 8. So yeah, I wasn't obedient, so I did that quick. Now take 8. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 7 is 31, so it's h. There's always a question like that, y'all. Are there any questions on the function questions? I think that we do a pretty good job of these questions right here, so this should be someone your strong point. Now let's turn to statistics. Everybody's least favorite.